will be the first to take the mark of the beast. And I believe that they are being primed to do it to influence the masses to follow their lead and also take the mark of the beast. Think about how much power and influence these people have. And yeah, like celebrities are cool, and I also believe that they'll play a big part in this. But influencer culture and how honestly they've risen to the A-list celebrity of life, they are going to downplay the mark of the beast. It's going to come out and they're going to say, oh, everybody's going to take it. Everybody's taking it. Even going to create ads for the mark of the beast. I'm going to show you a world that if you take the mark of the beast, your life will be exponentially better. They're also going to be offered millions and millions and millions of dollars to influence you to accept the mark of the beast. And you might think I'm just yapping, but I'm not. Revelation says that he will cause, now remember this word cause, all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their forehead, which is worship to him. The word cause does not associate with the word force. He's not going to force people. He's going to cause them. He's going to use pawns like celebrities to get people. Imagine if a celebrity's traveling during a time where you can't travel unless you accept something. Imagine that these influencers are traveling and they're doing a stream or they're doing some type of YouTube video or TikTok video, and they're traveling and they're telling you that you can only travel if you receive this mark, or you can only get this type of car if you receive this mark, or they're just doing little small campaigns for this mark. Influencers are pawns, and they're going to be used in the last days. They're being primed for it right now. They're being given the world right now. They're being given the minds of the youth. I know the saying where it says that if your friend jumps off a bridge, will you jump off a bridge? I truly believe that all of these influences have the power to make people jump off of bridges with them. So beware of the influencers in the last days, because they will be used as pawns. Money is the root of all evil. I'm telling y'all, money is the root of all evil.
The mark of the beast won't hit every nation the same way. Some will enforce it.
Effective immediately, all citizens are required to register for the National Digital Identification System.
Some will sell it, and some will celebrate it. When the mark of the beast arrives in a country like America, they won't ask you to take it. They will make it impossible to survive without it. In some countries, the mark won't come with force. It'll come with a smile. It'll be cool. It'll be efficient.
So efficient, right?
And if you don't take it, you'll be labeled the problem.
It says your verification is incomplete. We can't proceed at this time.
No soldiers. No laws, just culture, acceptance, peer pressure. Sweden will perfect a soft persecution, the kind that doesn't jail you, just excludes you from jobs, from society, from life.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem, which means in the name, Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation, and that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? Now, what you saw was two clips combined together to convey a message that once this mark is constituted or made mandatory, there's pretty much nothing you're going to be able to do or say about it if you want to continue to buy and sell on this man's grid, which is why a lot of these influencers are going to push this, okay? Because why? They're going to want to be able to continue to keep their status that they believe they have in this man's kingdom, all right? So they're going to push this mark of the beast, this microchip, okay? And as the second video conveyed, different countries may go about approaching it differently. All right, as they said in Sweden, it may be looked upon or frowned upon if you don't have it, as looked at you are a outcast, okay? You're not part of the in crowd, as they would say, especially in high school, whether or not you were part of the in crowd, the cool kids, all right? So they're going to look at you as, why don't you take it? Are you not down with the beast system? All your influencers got it, all right? Your Kai Cenats, your iShowSpeeds, your Drewskis, all right? Your Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's no coincidence that a lot of these, artists and some entertainers are now going over to do what? Stream. Such as Rampage Jackson, who was once in the MMA. He's saying now he's making more money streaming than he's ever made in MMA, okay? Which is why you see your LeBron James, teaming up with Kai Cenat, Kyrie Irving, all right? The list goes on and on, because why? These influencers, all right? They're the next wave, and they're going to be part of that community that pushes this mark, all right, to the mass, okay? Alongside your celebrities, alongside your, politicians, alongside your physicians, so on and so forth. They're all going to be on board and pushing this once it's made mandatory. See? That's what it means when it says he causes. All right, you go into that word causes, one of the definitions is to constitute. He's going to make it law, okay? And this is why these influencers, these streamers, these are going to be a major component in pushing this to the mass, okay? This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and 25. It reads, because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than man, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than man. See? So man in general don't understand the ins and outs of this word unless the Holy Spirit is supping with them, okay? Which is why when this is made mandatory, they're not going to have a say-so in the matter, okay? If they're not of the elect, they're going to take the microchip, all right? Because why? Because of fear of missing out, because of fear of they don't have faith, because of fear of not knowing when their next meal is going to come, just for fear in general. It says, verse 26, for ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, your influencers, your celebrities, your doctors, your lawyers, your physicians, all of them are going to be on board with this when this chip comes. Because why? They're going to all want to keep their status in this society, okay? They're not going to want to relinquish that, okay? It says, not many mighty, not many noble are called. That's why they're not going to come to the light, because they're not called, okay? Many of our people that have high notoriety in this man's society, they've been bought and sold. They've been compromised, all right? So when their test comes to implement this microchip, guess what? They're going to be on board with it. They're not going to bite the hand that they believe that has fed them, that has gave them the opportunities that they have to make it in this world. All right? But see, that's why it says a friend of this world is an enemy of the Most High. You cannot be in conjunction with both. All right? Either you're going to serve the Most High or you're going to serve Mammoth. All right? So these influencers, they're going to be a very major component in pushing this to the generation that's easily influenced by these streamers. Okay? And as far as the older crowd, the older generation, well, they're going to be kicked out of society. All right? If they don't want to get on board, they want to continue to try to use their cash, try to continue to stay, as they would say, in the ice age, they ain't going to be able to make it. All right? So this damn devil, he's covering all angles, okay? Make no mistake about it, he's covering all angles. So it says, but the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. See, when that time comes, it's going to be evident. It's going to be apparent who the Lord is dealing with. All right? Because see, now it's all fun and games. All right? They're getting their, consolation, their prize on this side. But once this man makes this thing mandatory and he constituted, they're going to have to work for their pay. All right? They're going to have to more than likely put on a show, whether they take it or not, and get on camera and show all the cool features and what you can do with it, because they're going to get sponsored by these commercials like they do now. Your wearables, like your Ray-Bans and all that, they're going to be sponsoring them, all right? Because this thing is going to be global. You're going to have all type of corporations that's going to have their more than likely form of the mark of the beast, all right? Whether it's Google, whether it's MetaBand, whatever, all right? But we know it's going to be the RFID microchip, or it may be just a government version of it, okay? So these influencers, these celebrities, these athletes, all your noble, mighty men, they're going to be on board with it. Because why? Not many are called, okay? This is St. Luke 18 and verse 25. Yahushua says, "For it is easier for a camel to go through a needle's eye, which is a very slim slither of a doorway, than for a rich man to enter to the kingdom of the Most High." See, a lot of them will not give up that fame, wealth, and notoriety that they have achieved and accomplished or acquired over here on this side. All right, which is why they're going to get on board with pushing this Karagman, this RFID microchip to the mass, okay? This is how they're going to keep their keeps. All right? Let's go to Revelation 13, and I want to show you that word cause, because the guy said that it's some other, way that they're going to use it. They're going to cause. No, the cause goes into making it mandatory, because the microchip is already out. All right? As far as trying it and putting it into trial era, it's already out. But see, it hasn't been made mandatory yet. It hasn't been constituted. So this is Revelation 13 and 16. It reads, we're going to get this word cause in the Greek. And he causes. Now, when we go into this word causes, which is paieo.
Strong's G 4160. Poieo. Poieo.
I want to cause your attention down to this definition right here. G, not G, Salakia. Did I pass it? It's not G. It's G, but it's the first number. It goes into to make, i.e. constitute. See, they're going to constitute this thing where in order for you to receive whatever, government assistance, whatever, you're going to have to take this microchip, all right? This is what it means when he causes all. He's not going to force you, because he's not going to have to, all right? If you want to come into his establishments, if you want to continue on his grid, you will have to willingly take this, all right? And this is why these influencers and these other noble, people in this society are going to be on board with taking it, okay? Because they want to keep their little bit of whatever they think they have and have acquired here on this side. So it says to make, i.e. constitute, or appoint one anything, to appoint or ordain one that. So they're going to make it constitution, to declare one anything. So this is going to be the law of the land, okay? And this is where we're heading at. So these influencers are going to be a good sign, or should I say a major component in pushing this thing. All right, this is why they're getting that motion right now. All right, this is why they can get millions of following them. This is why you can get you a Mr. Beast, okay? Or a Jake and Logan Paul, all right? How they're crossing paths with WWE and all type of things, because they're going to be all on board when it's all said and done. They're going to all be for it. All right? Because why? We're close to the end. All right? We're close to the end of this thing. They're getting ready to make their move. We're close to the end. All right? So they making these, athletes and these influencers or streamers cross paths. Okay? Because why? They're going to eventually come together on one page to push this microchip, this mark of the beast. Okay? So it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor. So he's going to constitute it for everyone. All right? To what? Free and bond to receive. He ain't going to leave you no way not to be able to get it. Because if you don't have any arms or limbs, you're going to be able to get it in your head. You see? He ain't going to leave you. This devil isn't going to leave it no way for you not to say that you can't get it. All right? He going to have somewhere to put it into you, and he going to allow it to be put. He going to allow it to be administered into you. All right? Whether it's at your doctor's office, whether it's at a detention center or whatever. All right? That's going to be evident that he's going to allow you to receive it. So it says, to receive a mark in their right hand, which it goes into, that word goes into dexterity, which is whichever hand is dominant, your dominant hand, whether it's your right or left hand, or in their foreheads, right? So you don't have a hand, guess what? You can put it in your forehead, all right? And the chip that they're going to have put in your forehead, it may be able to do more things than what you can do that has in your right hand, okay? So this is a major prophecy that we're waiting to unfold, to come to pass. And it's going to come to pass, as it tells us in Habakkuk 2 and 3, all right? The vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. We're at the end, okay? These influencers, along with these entertainers and others alike, have to keep their keeps, okay? They have to do what these higher ups, these elites tell them, and that's including your president, all right, Mr. 47, Trump, all right? They all are following a script that's been given to them by these elites, all right? These wicked elites, okay? So it says, in that no man or woman or child, for that matter, might buy or sell, save or except he that had the mark. This is the only way. So this society, when this thing goes live, is going to be exclusively only for those that have the mark. All right? If you don't have it, guess what? You won't be part of this society. You're going to be looked at as an outcast. Okay? It says, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you're going to be his property. All right? You're going to be his cattle, his goyim. All right? Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, 666. 666. Chi, Psi, stigma. And when you go into that word stigma, it means to prick. And that's exactly what they're going to do when they're administering that chip. They're going to stick that hypodermic needle inside of your flesh, underneath your skin, and insert that small chip the size of a grain of rice inside of you. Or they may just put it in your brain or in your forehead via by the way of a mesh. Or they may do the surgery and cut you open and put the chip in there. All right? But nevertheless, this will be the new way of life. All right? And this is what one of the major prophecies, if not the major prophecy that we're waiting on. Because once this has been constituted or made mandatory, then will the missiles come to destroy America. And then shortly after, we're out. Okay? Shortly after this is implemented and constituted, we're out, because the missiles are going to come and then the elect will be delivered, all right, out of America, Babylon the Great, and elsewhere. All right, so this is what we're waiting for. All right, so these influencers, they're going to be let's just say a decent size contribution to this chip being made mandatory. All right. So this is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. And it reads, be sober, be vigilant. See, you have to wait. You have to continue to be patient, because though it tarry, wait for it. It won't tarry. It will surely come. All right. But if you are disenchanted, or if you follow one of these, influencers, and when they tell you that this is the newest and latest, coolest thing, and it just take your commitment to believing, and look, we got it, and you can follow us, and you could go on our live streams in person, and you can ride with us through the vision of us. All you have to do is take this. We already know what they call Gen Alpha and Gen Beta, which is those that were born in the 20s, and the Gen Zs. They're going to be on board, because why? They are at the age of technology, okay? And it's not going to be nothing for those that, were born in the 70s and 80s and 90s, all right? Because they were the first wave of what they call techno babies, okay? So this thing is going to come, and the only one that's really going to resist it is the baby boomers, okay? Because they want to, they die hard. I'm going to spend my dollar, use my dollar, all right? But eventually they're going to cave in too, to receive their VA treatments, to receive whatever, their government assistance, whatever. All right. So all of them are going to be on board with this. All right. In one way or shape or another. All right. Except for the elect. The elect are the only ones that aren't going to take this when it's made mandatory. All right. Because why? They have taken heed to what the servants, the prophets of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah have said. Okay. So it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, yes, the same one that's going to make this mandatory, says, as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. That's his whole end game, man. He wants to see as many as can get chipped before he's taken out of power. All right. So we're going to conclude the lesson with that. And with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.